Assalamu alaikum dear students, how are you? I hope that all of you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am fine too. Welcome you all to NAVS Homeschool. This is Mahmudur Rahman, Assistant Teacher of English, National Ideal English Version School. Today I am going to take an English class for the students of class 7. I will take English second paper and today we will discuss on transformation of degree part 2. I repeat again, this is your second class on transformation of degree. Okay, let's see the board at first. This is the class for the students of class 7, subject English second paper, term annual, topic transformation of degree, part 2, lecture number 5, homework number 2. I repeat again, this is your lecture number 5 and your homework number 2, teacher Mahmudur Rahman, and this is my phone number. Okay, let's start. In the previous class, we discussed on the conversion of positive to comparative degree. Today, we will discuss on positive to superlative or superlative to positive, and at the same time, comparative to superlative and superlative to comparative. At first, we will discuss on how can we change the sentences, positive sentences into superlative. I have written the rules in short. I will explain them. Number 1, no other plus as dot dot as. If you find a sentence with no other and as dot dot as, then how can you change the sentence into superlative? At first, we will take an example. No other metal is as precious as gold. I repeat the sentence again. No other metal is as precious as gold. For this kind of sentence, if we want to transform into superlative, at first look at the structure. At first we will take the second subject. Here the second subject is, look here, second subject of the sentence, no other metal. Metal is the first subject, second subject is gold. So we will take gold, then obviously we will take the verb of the sentence, verb is. They will take an article the. You know that if you find as dot dot as, to transform it into superlative or comparative, you have to omit this part. So we will omit as dot dot as. We will take most, the superlative form. Look at the subject to, that means second subject plus the plus superlative form of the positive adjective. Here the positive adjective was precious. So we will take the superlative form, this word most precious, and then we will write down the first subject. So no other metal is as precious as gold will be. Subject, that means second subject, gold is the most precious metal. The second number, rule number 2, very few. If you find a sentence with very few in a positive sentence, obviously there will be as dot dot as. How can you transform it into superlative? At first we will take an example. Very few players in the team are as good as he. I repeat the sentence again. Very few players in the team are as good as he. Again we will take the second subject. Look the structure, second subject plus for very few we will write one of the. Here in the first rule there were no other and we took only the plus superlative form. For very few we will take one of the and then the superlative form of the adjective. Here the superlative form is good. So we will take the superlative form of good, that means best. So this sentence will be very few players in the team are as good as he will be transformed. He is the second subject. He is one of the best players in the team. He is one of the best players of the team. Similarly, these two sentences can be converted into positive. If you find gold is the most precious metal, then you can transform it into positive using no other metal is as precious as gold. Now we will discuss on comparative to superlative or superlative to comparative. Number 1, subject plus then any other. If you find subject plus then any other, then you will convert it with subject plus the plus superlative form. We will take an example. She was better than any other worker. I repeat the sentence. She was better than any other worker. That means subject plus obviously verb, then the comparative form of the adjective. Now then any other. When we transform it into superlative, we will omit this phrase then any other and we will use the superlative form. So at first we will write down the subject is she, then the verb, then we will take article the, and now superlative form of better is best, and we will omit then any other. If we omit then any other, the last word or last portion of the sentence will sit here. So she was the better than any other worker will be transformed into she was the best worker. Rule number 2, subject plus then most other. Both are similar, just here then any other and here then most other. If we find most other, then we will convert it with subject plus one of the plus superlative form. If we find then most other, we will convert it into one of the. Take an example. Arabian Nights is better than most other story books. Look here, Nights is plural. It seems plural, but this is the name of a book, so this is not a plural word, this is a singular. For this reason the verb is also singular. So we will transform it into superlative. The subject will be the same, so Arabian Nights, then the verb is now one of the. Now one of the, we will take one of the instead of then most other. Now we will write down one of the best. This is the superlative form of our adjective better. That means to come from comparative form we will transform it into superlative form, and the rest of the part of the sentence will sit here. So Arabian Nights is better than most other storybooks will be transformed into Arabian Nights is one of the best storybooks. You have to remember this portion very carefully, one of the, then most other. If you find then most other in comparative form, then you have to substitute with one of the, and if you find then any other, if you have to find substitute with the plus the superlative form of the adjective. So these are the discussions and rules for transforming positive to superlative or superlative to positive, and then comparative to superlative and superlative to comparative. I hope that you have understood these rules. Now you have some homeworks for this class. Homework number 2. There are 5 sentences. Change the following sentences as directed. That means there are instructions in the brackets with the blue color words. You have to transform these sentences following the instruction. Number 1, iron is more useful than any other metal. I repeat again, iron is more useful than any other metal. You have to make this sentence superlative. At first you have to identify this sentence whether it is in positive or comparative, then you have to change this into superlative. Number 2, Hamlet is more popular than any other dramas. I repeat again, Hamlet is more popular than any other dramas. Hamlet is one of the famous dramas of William Shakespeare. You have to change this sentence into superlative. Like the first sentence, you have to first identify whether it is in positive or comparative, then you will transform it. Number 3, very few animals are as ferocious as a lion. I repeat again, very few animals are as ferocious as a lion. You have to make this sentence also in superlative. Now sentence number 4, he is the tallest boy in the class. I repeat again, he is the tallest boy in the class. You have to change this sentence into positive. And number 5, he is the noblest person I have ever found. He is the noblest person I have ever found. You have to make this sentence comparative. So these 5 sentences are your homework for today's class. So my dear students, I hope that after this class you will have no problem with transformation of degree. For your better understanding, you have to practice a lot, and if you find any problem or difficulty or any confusion, you of course you will inform me, and I will help as much as I can. Okay, thank you very much. Take care of yourself. See you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.